I enjoy it, having been around for so many years playing with so many greats and playing solo piano, remembering a lot of compositions. There's so much interesting music. Great American Songbook, Bebop standards, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Billy Strayhorn, Cole Porter, wonderful material. So as long as I'm on the planet, I enjoy passing it on, and that's how I learned, by playing with the wonderful jazz masters. They would pass on their knowledge, and the whole idea was to keep the art of jazz happening and keep the tradition going, give the audience classic compositions from different styles, and at the same time bring something new. The first selection was a big hit for Duke Ellington Orchestra, 1936. The composer was a Puerto Rican valve trombone player who played with Duke a lot of time, and also he played with Harry James. Willie Smith, the great alto player, also was with Duke, and two of them would go back and forth and play with Harry James. Wonderful musicians. So this, to my knowledge, it could be one of the earliest compositions that uses North African, Turkish, Arabic, in part klezmer, melodic intervals and scales. And here is Caravan. Middle Eastern, Turkish, I'm going to have a sip from my Turkish coffee. This connects to the wonderful Turkish jazz phenomenal venue in Palo Alto, and I congratulate the owner, Omer, for creating another one in San Ramon. We played there last week doing New Orleans jazz, great selections where it all began. And this whole month I'm streaming, no live performances, so there'll be different themes. However, connected to the Turkish Cup, September 4th, I'm back in Palo Alto doing a tribute to one of the greats, Sonny Rollins. He just passed away. I think that's one of the few in the Bay Area. Steve Heckman, phenomenal saxophonist. Great bassist, Doug Miller. Can you imagine a white cat, 20 years old, playing with Count Basie in Freddie Green, and Basie complimented him. Young man, you do a great job. So that was years ago, and Doug is one of the grooviest cats, has a great rhythm bowing, play modern anyway, and one of the really top outstanding drummers, a lady from San Jose, Sylvia Cuenca, fantastic bebop drummer. She'll be the drummer. Sylvia has toured with Clark Terry and Jon Hendricks. She's got the ear and the feeling. So that's September 4th. Otherwise, the whole month I'll have some nice, interesting themes. We go to Duke Ellington's right-hand man, Billy Strayhorn, who at the age of 16 in Pittsburgh in high school wrote Lush Life and the lyrics. He was way ahead of his time. Also, he was one of the first to capture French impressionistic harmonies, Debussy and Ravel. You see an example in this. Flower is a lovesome thing. when I studied with a creative Bay Area legendary pianist Vince Guaraldi, who is mainly known for Peanut Charlie Brown, but that's only one area. He was successful, made a lot of money, but the wide-ranging, authentic jazz, something else which he loved to play, Afro-Cuban salsa, bebop, he recorded Billy Strayhorn. That's he was tuned in, and Vince, like Count Basie, could play the melody with one finger and make it sing. Also, I was fortunate to record this with two wonderful ladies, Jackie Ryan on her CD, Passion Flower, also with Kay Kostopoulos, Black Olive Jazz. She did a video, Flowers and Love Something, you know. A great tune to be remembered. And Billy Strayhorn, people don't know, Duke Ellington's theme, A-Train, Take the A-Train, Duke didn't write it. He wrote many great pieces, but Billy Strayhorn wrote Take the A-Train. Also, his arrangements had color. They weren't just blaring big bands, soft sounds, beautiful. He was way ahead of his time. I guess it's a good time to mention my performances. There's no charge. They are free. At the same time, I'm not a tech person. I have to hire a technician to set up the microphones, the video, so I have to pay for that. And on the camera you can see the side of the piano. People ask me, how do we leave a tip? Well, there you are. Zelle, Venmo, and PayPal, whatever it works. So it helps keep the program going. As I mentioned, it's a wide-ranging program today. Next we go to hard bop. Cedar Walton wrote this piece and recorded it with David Williams and Jimmy Cobb. He was an excellent hard bop pianist, playing very hip lines. First heard him with R. Blakey, early 60s at the Jazz Workshop on Broadway. So this is Midnight Waltz. Jazz Workshop on Broadway, which is across the street from a new club today called Keys. Wonderful pianist, organist. It's from Australia. Simon Rowe wanted to recreate the original North Beach atmosphere. It was really something. In the 60s, Jazz Workshop, Matador, Basin Street West, Ann's 440, and Vocal Club, Sugar Hill, Joe Williams, Carmen McRae. The street was happening, and what was nice, people, suits and ties, sport coats. And what is interesting, how unfortunately jazz musicians get lost. In those days, Art Blakey, everybody had a beautiful jacket and tie. MJQ played in a tuxedo. People were dressed representing classy music. When rock people started making millions, they didn't care. Tennis shoes, jeans, and jazz musicians said, if they can do that, we can. Why follow the worst, man? Stay classy above them. But, they didn't think. So I think it's coming back. People are getting dressed when they play. So interesting days from those times. And one time when Freddie Hubbard was a member of Art Blakey, Wayne Shorter, Curtis Fuller, Art Blakey was the big band drummer for, and I'll tell you later, Mr. B had the first big band, 1944, Bebop big band. Tell you in a minute. Right now, we go to a beautiful ballad which became recorded by Bebop people. The composer Harry Warren wrote it for a Glenn Miller film, Orchestra Wives. Orchestra traveling, their wives traveling with the musicians. Some size started gossiping and all that, to make the movie more interesting. And Harry Warren is not Harry Warren. He's Italian from Brooklyn. Antonio Salvatore Guaragna, that's his name. But his sister, for better business, changed it. You can't say, here is Serenade in Blue September in the Rain, written by Antonio Salvatore Guaragna. The Americans quite would have not taken to it, so he became Harry Warren. And Serenade in Blue is one of the most beautiful pieces. Dexter recorded it, Billy Eckstein. I recorded with Tom Harrell, great trumpet player. beautiful melody, chromatic movement, going towards bebop. Harry Warren was very open. He loved jazz. I mentioned before some great composers somehow were not close to jazz. Richard Rodgers didn't like it. They wanted everything straight, no improvisation. Jerome Kern the same. At the same time, when you become so rich like these guys, you forget to thank jazz musicians who made money for them, recorded their tunes. Peggy Lee ran into Richard Rodgers after recording his song Lover. She did it fast tempo with bongos. Really hot version. Made some good money, big hit. How did you like my version? He said, it's supposed to be a waltz. Well, little history right there. Now, these songs had great lyrics, image, poetry. Harry Warren wrote together with Mac Gordon. He was from Polish Jewish extraction, came when he was a young man. Another German Jewish phenomenal lyricist, Gus Kahn. Anyway, Serenade in Blue. Once again, your face comes back to me, just like a theme from some forgotten melody. And the end of the song. Tell me, darling, is there still a spark, or only ashes of the flame we once knew? Who writes today about the lonely ashes? So I bring this up to the popular songs of today. Most of them nothing, 2 or 3 chords. And I mentioned before, Academy Award winning tunes, triads. A little kid could do better. It's a different time. I'm happy to have been around, and you are still there. You can hear all the stuff available on YouTube. There we go. Now we go to Unsung Hero, Sonny Clark. He came from Pittsburgh, and he had an aunt in LA, Hermosa Beach area. He went there and he became the pianist at the Lighthouse, playing with all the people there. Then he joined Buddy DeFranco, bebop clarinet. They toured, they recorded. He was an influenced by Bud Powell, but he had his own bluesy piano attack and sound. This is an original, News for Lulu. His daughter was Lulu. I was trying to emulate some of Sonny Clark's rhythmic attack on the solos. His solos were crystal clear with a percussive, wonderful feeling. And he made a strong influence. He was Dexter Gordon's favorite pianist. He made many great records on Blue Note and Prestige. This comes from an album called Sonny's Crib on Blue Note, I believe. John Coltrane, Donald Byrd, Curtis Fuller, Paul Chambers, and Art Taylor. Soulful stuff. Poor guy died of substance abuse. A lot of people were hooked in those days, and it's unfortunate they didn't have a medical program. They put people in jail. They should have had a known medical program. These people were great artists. They didn't bother anyone. They just wanted to play. They were not criminals. Too bad, but it is better now. I'm glad for that. And to tell you how important his contribution and his concert was, a fine trumpet player I recorded with years ago was taking lessons from Art Farmer. Dimitri Matheny, when he took a lesson from Art Farmer, he said, "What can you help me with?" Art Farmer said, "Listen to Sonny Clark," to a trumpet player. That's a story. Now, I mentioned Billy Eckstine had the first bebop big band. He took the music of Charlie Parker and Dizzy, who were in his big band, and orchestrated it for the large orchestra. And the arranger was Jerry Valentine, trombone player. He wrote this piece, "I'll Wait and Pray." Go to YouTube and put John Coltrane. He only played one course to show the melody, and I recorded it with Larry Grenadier and Akira on my album Street Scene, which has been remastered. But it's a bebop melody with a lot of chromatic movement. Very interesting piece. It doesn't sound like a standard tune. Imagine big band, Dizzy Gillespie in the trumpet section, Miles Davis, Kenny Dorham, trombone, Jerry Valentine, the arranger, saxophone, at different times, Charlie Parker, Sonny Stitt, Dexter Gordon and Gene Amos were doing tenor battles. Cecil Payne, the original bebop baritone player. On drums, Art Blakey. On bass, Ray Brown. John Lewis piano. That was a phenomenal. You can hear some recordings and even a video. I'll Wait and Pray. Boy, this is time getting close. For you who joined later, I wanted to mention my programs. There's no charge, but I do have to pay. I'm not a tech person for microphones, sound, and the viewers say, what can I do to leave a tip, to keep it going? Well, the camera on the piano has ways to do it. Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal. Whatever you can do, big and small, appreciate it. I'll be back this month every Saturday. My next performance is September 4th, I mentioned, at a great Turkish place. And Steve Heckman, Sylvia Cuenca, Doug Miller, we're doing Sonny Rollins music. He passed away recently. And well, speaking of that, let's see, I was going to mention I'll Wait and Pray, yeah. Oh yeah, the last selection used for Lulu. We did a live recording there with the rhythm section I mentioned, and we recorded this tune used for Lulu. The leader was the wonderful New York guitarist Ronnie Ben-Hur. So the first CD will be coming out from the May House, Palo Alto. Next, it's a kind of contemporary bebop jazz with a long meter blues with interludes. I wrote it 2008 on a trip to the Balkans. I had a good band, and we played in Belgrade, big park called Megdan, which is a fort overlooking Sava and Danube River integrating together, beautiful view. It was a fort defending the city against attackers in the old days. And the gentleman who brought us, his name is Željko. He had a radio program in London, produced records, and he's an architect, so he presented us. This is Željko's Belef Blues. this was a summer festival in Belgrade that brought all kinds of bands. When we played, we had 2,000 people there, and also they had Santana's band, not the same day. So it was really a quality festival with recognizable groups and beautiful atmosphere in the summer. Let's see, what do we do? A nice change of pace, giving you a Latin classic. I had the fortune of recording this with basically the top Bay Area vocalist Jackie Ryan. She's singing better than ever. And she did it on the album Passion Flower. Billy Strayhorn, we recorded, as I mentioned. Flower is a lovesome thing. Also Passion Flower. And we did this one, Historia de un Amor, written by a Panamanian gentleman, Carlos Almaran. It has a little flamenco movements, and I made it even more in my solo. I'll give you an example. This was written in 1955 by Carlos Almaran, and the gentleman who put it on the map was like the Frank Sinatra of South America. He was from Chile and lived in Mexico. Lucho Gatica. He was looked on as a top bolero singer. After him, Luis Miguel later was inspired, and they both recorded it. So in 1955, right early on, I bought this LP on Capitol. And what was interesting, first time I met Jackie Ryan was maybe 93. I was playing at the Hyatt. She came back after being out of town for many years, originally from San Rafael. And people told her Larry would let people sit in. And this is the first tune we did it, in the same key, A minor. And Jackie's mother was from Acapulco, and she learned some beautiful Latin melodies from her. Historia de un amor. Well, time for a very, very quick another Latin flavor. This is a Russian gypsy song, Ochi Chornaya, and this song, Dark Eyes, is the gypsy theme song, Gypsy Roma. This is the song that they hold close to themselves. Gypsy Roma Mambo. I'm going to give a little Slavic introduction. Thank you for being with me today, and please tell your friends. I enjoy passing on the history and the music, and as long as I'm on the planet, that's where I'm going to continue. Thank you so much, and next week I'll have a different theme, different music. Thank you.